So here is the question. How much trouble are the Cowboys in? Skip.
Stephen A. Smith, allow me to first say Arizona is really good. I have underestimated Arizona, saying again and again, I'm not sure they're legit. Now I think they're legit because they are clearly the NFL's best coach team, thanks to Bruce Arians on the offensive side and Todd Bowles on the defensive side. But I got to tell you, yesterday, I missed Tony Romo. As a Cowboy fan, I can't tell you how much I miss Tony Romo. And if he can't quickly get and stay healthy down the stretch, my Cowboys aren't just in trouble, they are sunk. Because I'm not sure he's going to be ready for Jacksonville, and I'm not sure that Brandon Weeden can beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in London next Sunday. I know it's just a transverse process crack, and they say, well, look at Bryce Petty at Baylor. He played through it. He's a college kid. Tony Romo is 34, coming off his second back surgery. So I don't know if he can get healthy quickly and play through it into next Sunday's game, even though Jerry Jones said that he could. And I'm going to stick with my pick that I said before the year, that the Dallas Cowboys would win the NFC East. But you know and I know that the injury gods often decide the outcomes in this league, especially in the National Football League. And the injury gods are frowning on my Dallas Cowboys, especially now on defense. Justin Durant, leading tackler, gone, obviously, into this game. Leading tackler gone. And all of a sudden, in the fourth quarter yesterday, Rolando McClain, the godsend, the other good linebacker this year, hurt his knee. Not sure about the status. Jerry Jones thought he would be okay, but we'll wait today to hear the official results of that. And then Tyrone Crawford, you may not know him, but he has been my best lineman this year, and he definitely sprained his knee, and he's probably gone, God knows, 4 to 6 weeks, which will just be a killer for a defense that was average at best going into the year. So I don't know, Stephen A. The bottom line yesterday was I thought the defense hung in and played well enough to win the game, and Brandon Weeden was a shocking disaster to me. And I told you again how much I loved him at Oklahoma State. I watched him a lot. He outplayed Andrew Luck, RG3, Ryan Tannehill. I couldn't recognize the guy yesterday from the guy I used to watch at Oklahoma State because he played scared. He played not to lose. He played on his heels the whole game until the last garbage drive when finally, garbage time, he just started cutting loose like he used to do at Oklahoma State. And I don't know why I couldn't have had that guy from the start of the game, because that guy was going against an Arizona pass defense that had allowed the most yards in the National Football League. Are you kidding me? And people say, you should have run DeMarco Murray more. He couldn't run against this defense like he usually runs. And the key play early in the fourth quarter, down 14-10, was the 4th and 1. And Dallas just flat out lined up in the I formation with the fullback and said, Arizona, here we come. And Arizona said, no, you can't, and stuffed it and knocked him back on his butt for a yard loss. And I said, well, that's the ball game right there. You can't beat this team with just running DeMarco Murray. It was up to Brandon Weeden to hit a couple of passes at key points, and he couldn't. So I could be in big trouble if Romo can't go and play well against Jacksonville.
You know, I really don't like being sick, Skip, but especially during segments like this, because I wish I could just pop through the screen and throw some water on you for that ridiculous soliloquy you just went on. I am not letting you get off the hook. Don't you dare try to set the stage to renege on your pick. Mark Sanchez is now the quarterback in Philadelphia because of Nick Foles' broken collarbone.
Okay, well,
so the same problems Dallas has,
who
Nick
will
Foles
you take?
and Philadelphia has.
Will you take Mark Sanchez or Brandon Weeden right now? Who do you like better?
I would take Mark Sanchez, but that's not my point.
Yeah.
My point to you is that they're not the only ones going through injuries. The fact of the matter is the Philadelphia Eagles have had injuries with their offensive line all year. I didn't hear you using that as an excuse. Now Mark Sanchez is the backup, just like Dallas Cowboys have a backup. You've been spending all of these times since he came into the league raving about Brandon Weeden, and now this? No. He's supposed to be the guy. You're supposed to be all happy that he's the backup to Tony Romo. Excuse me. I don't want to hear all of that, okay?
I raved about him in college. I didn't rave about him in college. Cleveland.
The fact is, I'm talking. Zip it. I remember them having DeMarco Murray.
I'll let you go.
I remember them having Des Bryant. I remember them having Jason Witten. I remember them still having that offensive line. They have all the pieces in place. If your backup is anything what you say he is, there should be nothing to worry about.
What did I say he was?
Because this is about their offense
what
anyway.
did I say he was?
It's about their offense anyway. What you were talking about?
When did I say? I said I liked him before the draft. I didn't like him at Cleveland.
I don't want to hear that you're worried. Deal with it. Your Cowboys, the accident waiting to happen, just like I've been saying. I never said how. I didn't know what was going to happen. It could be somebody literally getting in an accident. It could be somebody literally getting in an accident. It could be somebody getting injured. It could be somebody that doesn't want to play. It could be Scandrick on the sideline throwing stuff and being all belligerent and cantankerous. It could be Des Bryant looking melancholy, if not flat out sad. It could be Tony Romo looking like he's the offensive coordinator. It could be anything. But the point that I have made to you religiously is that when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, something will go wrong. That has been my MO from day one. And that's what is happening now. And then, by the way, Skip Bayless, let me tell you the idiocy of your Cowboys. Skip Bayless, you've been on quite a few flights in your day, haven't you? You know I have. That's why I'm sick now, okay?
I've been on a few more than you have.
Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Skip Bayless, London is that's kind of far, wouldn't you say? And by the way, not only is it kind of far, it's far for Jacksonville, but you're going to sit there and let Tony Romo go on wherever they're playing overseas. Listen, man, what sense does that make? I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys and some lengthy flight. They're talking about taking Tony Romo on the road with him. He doesn't need to play next week because you're going to need it for the Giants. You're going to need it for Philly. You might need it for Chicago because that's a road game. You're going to need it for Philly again. You're going to need it for those other games. But y'all are panicking. Everything's about Romo. So I guess y'all are not the team everybody says the Dallas Cowboys are, huh?
Now, wait a second. Time out. Who said the Cowboys were anything before the year started? Who said? Did you say they were something before the year started? I did. I was the only one. Okay, I went way out on a limb. But who thought that...
You didn't go out on a limb.
I didn't go out on a limb to say they were going to win the NFC East. How many other people were out on the limb?
No, what? Because their offense were juggernauts and we thought their defense was going to stink. That's all. Their defense is a little bit better, but their offense is everything we thought they were going to be.
Okay, but time out. The same defense was historically bad last year. Allowed New Orleans in a Sunday night game an NFL record 40 first downs. So I went out on a limb and said Rod Marinelli is going to change the culture. I think there are enough pieces. They can play over their heads. They can overachieve. But if you start taking away Justin Durant and Rolando McClain and Tyrone Crawford, not to mention
not what you said.
Mo Claiborne, I can't do it. I don't. You say next man up. I don't have a next man.
That's not what you said.
I barely had enough men to have starters.
That's not what you said. A matter of fact, if I recall correctly, you said you're assuming the Dallas Cowboys defense is still going to be awful. They can't be worse than they were last year, but you assume they were still going to be awful, but it didn't matter because of their offense and because of the rest of the NFC East. So you said by virtue of default alone, RG3, Eli in New York, the Philadelphia Eagles, and Nick Foles, because you didn't believe in them, and you were right. You were talking about how it wasn't going to be 27 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. You said by default, combined with the offense, it doesn't matter what the defense is going to do because Dallas's offense is going to carry the way. Now, here you are because of Brandon Weeden, who you have supported more than anybody. Now, all of a sudden, there's cause for trepidation?
I only supported him before the draft. I didn't support him at Cleveland, and I didn't love him as the backup quarterback. And I said from the start, Romo has to stay healthy. You didn't love him as the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys? What's that?
Okay.
Well,
I'm saying you didn't. I don't recall you not loving him as the backup. I
don't think we ever talked about it. I just hoped he didn't have to play.
Yes, we did.
And you know what? No, we did not. Yes, we did. And you know what? I kept telling you 2 weeks ago, Tony Romo deserved to be tied for second in the MVP race. Tony Romo, you said, that's crazy. It's DeMarco Murray first, Peyton Manning second. I said, you're not giving Tony Romo enough credit for what he's done for this team.
That's right.
He's made a bunch of big plays. And again, they needed one play from their quarterback yesterday, and they couldn't even get one play. And if you can explain to me how Brandon Weeden, who played at Oklahoma State with Des Bryant, has zero rapport with him, you're way ahead of me. I don't get that. I thought that would be built in, that, oh, you got Des with Brandon Whedon.
I can easily explain that. Des Bryant belongs on this level. We're not sure Brandon Whedon does. Not to mention the fact that Brandon Whedon was in college with Des Bryant. This is the NFL. So the defense that you're going up against has something to say about that, especially if you are a suspect quarterback, which is what Brandon Whedon is. No disrespect, but it's just the truth.
Okay, all I'm saying is I agree with your point about desperation to even try to play Tony Romo this Sunday in London. I'm with you on that. I tweeted it on Saturday. I said he should take off the next two games and the bye because that's your only hope. But now my only hope is to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I don't think they can with Brandon Whedon, without Rolando McClain, without Tyrone Crawford, without Justin Durant. They're not good enough.
If you cannot beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, then you're not the team that I thought you were as the Dallas Cowboys. With the rest of the weapons that they have on the offensive side of the ball, you should be able to beat Jacksonville. You should be able to beat Jacksonville.
I don't see it.
Stephen A., you said let Romo stay home.
Yes. Why? That's a long flight, Kerry. Why bring him to Europe with a bad back? Listen, do y'all fly?
Oh, it's hard.
Listen,
Look, I understand. That's a tough ride.
Be on a plane.
He's gonna be in first class. He'll be in first class. They might lay him out.
He won't be in first class.
He's not putting him in first class. I heard Jerry was moving his wife. Putting him in first class.
Maybe.
And he can lay his
Jerry
out.
Ain't that stupid. Jerry ain't that stupid. The wife will be in first class.
Let's leave it there, gentlemen.
Trust me.
Let's talk about